Hey guys, I'm Leena Parikh, the host of Entigrity, the accountant's talk show. Learning is not limited to any age. Learning is not limited to any profile, any designation, any position in the organization. Learning is not limited to any gender. Also, there is a saying, if you stop learning, you stop growing. And in continuation of this thought, I would like to invite the guest today, who is a chartered accountant who started his journey while working in a financial advisory company wherein he was giving an investment advice and he was drawing a great salary. But he was not happy with that. He thought he was not born with this point. He thought he was not born with this purpose. So, what was his purpose? What was his vision? His vision was to make India read. Yes, guys, you have guessed it right. He is none other than Amrut Deshmukh, the booklet guy. So how does this booklet guy came into existence? How does Amrut started taking steps toward his vision? So let us know about his journey from him only. So let me invite Mr. Amrut Deshmukh, the booklet guy. Welcome to my show, Integrity, the Accountant's Talk Show.
Thank you so much, Leena, for considering me as a deserving candidate to be on your show.
Honestly, the main reason actually for actually having you on my show is first of all, the reason for this is in Entigrity, we actually want to build a learning and development culture, not a learning and development team or department. Right, so learning is something which should be from inside or खुद से आना चाहिए that I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to develop my career.
Right.
And then I thought then like learning से सबसे जो first point है starting, that is reading, right? And then I was looking for this, and then definitely Amrut Deshmukh, the booklet guy, who is on a vision and a mission to make India read. And I think there's a tagline that if I am not reading, I am not changing. And if I am not changing, I am not growing. So I thought इससे better क्या होगा मेरे लिए जब मुझे अगर इंटीग्रिटी में या कहते हैं ना if even I want this that people should have learning within themselves. It should come from within, not something as a forceful thing, not as a department जो कहते हैं ना डंडा लेके खड़ा है कि भाई learning करो. So this is how I thought that you would be the right person जो इतना बड़ा मिशन लेके चल रहा है इंडिया को रीड कराने का. So definitely that's how I think that you would be a great piece. So I thought you would be the great person who can help me even in my mission and vision. Yes, Amrut.
Thank you so much, Leena. A very valid point you raised, that learning should be a never-ending process. And that reminds me about a book written by John Holt.
Okay.
A very interesting name. He says, instead of education, okay, and I think he's the only person in the world who understood the meaning of learning and how humans learn. He says that we are very natural self-learners. Children need not to be taught in order to learn. They are themselves amazing, curious creatures and hence self-learners. But why is it that this crazy curiousness goes away as we grow older? That's because of the environment and maybe parenting. So what happens is it's very obvious that a child asks 1,000 questions.
Exactly.
इसका color ऐसा क्यों है, ये ऐसा क्यों है, it's very obvious. When you were a child, I was a child, we asked 100 questions a day, and then the number of questions goes down as you get older. That is because it's not biological, it is cultural. So this change is cultural. So what happens is when, for example, a child starts to learn how to walk for the first time. Okay. Have you ever seen a child in this world who has learned to walk without falling?
Definitely no.
Did you? Did I? No, we all must have fell down, although we don't remember. This is basic science, right? It is impossible to learn how to walk without falling. Now, what is the obvious reaction of parents when they see that a child trying to walk for the first time and then falls down? अरे वाह 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 बेटा आजा 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 मैं यहाँ खड़ी हूँ.
Yes.
Come on, yes, you can. अरे गिर गए, no problem. उठो वापस ट्राई करो. ऐसा बोलते, right? Now what happens that I don't know कौन से एज पे चलना शुरू होता होगा, maybe 8-10 महीने
Yeah.
बच्चे रहते तो start crawling and they try to stand on two legs. जब वो 2 साल का, 3 साल का, फिर स्कूल में चल जाता है, 5 साल का होता है, फिर वो बोलते हैं कि अरे 2 into 2 4 होता है गधे, समझता नहीं है तो 5 क्या लिखा है.
Yeah.
है ना. फिर बाद में आता है कि अरे साइकोलॉजी का स्पेलिंग बी से शुरू होता है, एस से नहीं. दिमाग में भूसा भरा हुआ है क्या. Now what happens is now this is where the problem creeps in.
Yes.
The child thinks that making mistake is something dangerous. It is wrong. It is flawed. Okay. Now let's go back to the previous scenario where the child is trying to walk for the first time, and let's change the reaction of the parents.
Yes.
Hypothetically, the parent instead says, अरे गधे समझता नहीं है, ऐसे चलना चाहिए, पहले वेट को ट्रांसफर करना है राइट लेग पे, फिर पैर को आगे लेना और लेफ्ट लेग पे वेट ट्रांसफर करना है, समझता नहीं है, भूसा भरा है क्या. You get it? My message?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why it happens that as the child grows, our language changes.
Yes.
Yeah. And when the child thinks that making mistake is something dangerous, he stops taking risks.
Yes.
Okay. He took the first risk of standing and then falling down.
Hmm.
So he understood that, okay, taking risk is okay
Risk is okay.
because of the proper correct reaction of the parents. But बाद में reactions change होते हैं. There are stupid questions. कौन सा stupid question है ये कि 2 चांद क्यों नहीं होते. ये तो stupid question है, एक ही चांद होता है. And then वो questions पूछना कम कर देता है. And when he thinks that asking questions, taking risk is dangerous, it is
not
safe
advisable also.
to take risk. तो फिर curiosity मर जाती है. Curiosity मर जाती है तो innovation, creativity सब कुछ खत्म हो जाता है और फिर learning खत्म हो जाता है.
Exactly. In fact, अगर मैं अपनी बात करूं तो मैंने कहता ना लाइक बचपन में पढ़ाई वढ़ाई हो गई और मेरे साथ हमेशा एक मिथ कैरी हो रहा था दैट लर्निंग और रीडिंग इज समथिंग नॉट माय कप ऑफ टी. मैं रीड कर ही नहीं सकती और स्पेशली सीए करने के बाद तो मैंने तो इतनी सारी बुक्स पढ़ ली ना, तब तो मैं जिंदगी में कभी रीडिंग नहीं कर सकती. यू कैन रिलेट विथ मी बिकॉज इवन यू आर अ सीए, राइट. तो मैं दिमाग में हमेशा से वो थॉट था कि मैं रीडिंग नहीं कर सकती. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंड इज आई स्टार्टेड ग्रोइंग इन माय प्रोफेशनल जर्नी and at the same time like even I have a 6-year-old daughter, right? So एक thought मेरे मन में आया that I should read now. Why? Because एक तो मुझे professionally grow करना है and second जो मैं नहीं कर सकी मैं चाहती हूँ मेरी बेटी करे. अब मैं उसको खाली बोलूँ कि तू रीड कर, वो नहीं करेगी because she has never seen me reading, right? Her dad is like, he likes reading, he reads a lot of books, but normally she spends a lot of time with me. So because of these two reasons, I thought let me start reading now, right? So I went to Crossword with a very open mindset कि मैं तो best seller की book लेके आ जाऊंगी and I'll start reading. And I went to a book Crossword. I bought one book. घर पे आई, रोज एक पेज पढ़ा. So एकदम over confidence हो गया कि now तो reading habit has started. And the moment I got overconfident, next दिन से मैंने reading ही बंद कर दी. मैं बोला यार learning के लिए सिर्फ reading ही थोड़ी एक option है. I can watch videos, I can go through TED Talks, I can listen to audiobooks. So reading is not the only way if I want to learn and grow, right? फिर मैंने थोड़े टाइम के बाद सोचा कि मैं तो grow करूंगी, but I want that my daughter should have a reading habit. So again I did a fresh start. फिर एक नया book लेके आ गई best seller and the history repeated again. मतलब अब क्या करें यार, I'm not able to do it. And you won't believe, इस पूरी जर्नी में मैंने अभी तक एक ही बुक रीड की थी, दैट वाज 2 States, और वो मैंने 2 दिन में फिनिश कर दी थी बिकॉज उस टाइम पे शायद मुझे लगा वो बुक मुझसे रिलेट कर रही थी. सो दिस इज हाउ एक्चुअली आई स्टॉप रीडिंग like, and I thought I need to give up. And all of a sudden one day I was in a resort and my husband was having a book, Attitude is Everything. तो मैंने बुक उठाया एंड आई स्टार्टेड रीडिंग और मुझे मजा आने लगा, राइट. सो माय हस्बैंड वाज, आर यू ओके, यू आर रीडिंग एंड दैट टू व्हेन इन अ रिसॉर्ट, लाइक घर पे तो कभी पढ़ाई की नहीं, घर पे तो कभी बुक खोली नहीं. But I started enjoying and I went back to Ahmedabad. When I came back home, I started reading and I continued doing it. And I finished that book and it was a great sense of achievement, great sense of happiness. And then I thought, now I can come to the reading habit. I can start inculcating this reading habit. So this was my challenge and this was my story. Now because you are in the mission of making India read, so आपके साथ क्या challenges आए थे या आपकी story कैसे grow हुई? Like how did you came into this thing and how did you make things happen? Like now there are a lot of followers, 20 lakh people are there in the booklet app, right? So how did this thing happen? And definitely there would be other challenges जो आपने भी face किए होंगे. So how did this thing happen actually?
Yeah. Um, See, I never thought that, a stupid idea of reading for my friend and sharing notes with him of the books that I read will shape up and take a national movement one day.
Yeah.
Never, never, not in my wildest dream. It so happened that I had three failed startups in a row and
Oh,
one failed relationship. So, personal failure, professional failure. So, three failed startups on my LinkedIn profile and one failed relationship on my Facebook profile. And because I was not socializing, depressed, keeping myself aloof from all my friends, festivals, locking myself inside the room for weeks and months. One of my CA friends, we had studied together in the library. He probably saw pity on me
okay.
and said that just to pull me and help me come out of depression, he called me up and said that एक पिक्चर आई है बाहुबली नाम की, चल देखने जाते, बहुत सुना है इसके बारे में. So we reached the movie theater 15 minutes before the show time. So how to kill time? We are not interested in shopping,
Yeah.
and because of मेरा देवदास का जो मन हो गया था, so I was not interested in other attractions of the mall.
Yeah.
You understand, boys are boys.
Yeah.
So just to kill time, I was reading a book that week, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey.
Yes.
And I casually narrated him those 7 habits, tack, 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 in 15 minutes. He was so impressed by my narration. He said, Amrut, the way you explained, I felt that I visited the author's house without reading it. And I got the main message, what he must be trying to convey in that fat book. You're a great explainer, and the way you illustrated those concepts with your own personal anecdotes and examples, there's so much of clarity, and I could see the spark in your eye. You loved explaining those ideas with me. So you do one thing, whatever books you read a lot of best-selling books. You must be taking some notes in your diary. उसका फोटो मुझे WhatsApp पे भेजा करो, so that your reading habit can benefit me. That last line was literally a calling from within. That, oh my God, आकाशवाणी जैसा जो होता है, the aha moment where Archimedes को जब वो टब बाथ में वो he immersed in the water and he discovered the law, the Archimedes famous law, और वो नंगा भागा, right, out of excitement, यूरेका. I think मुझे समझ में आ गया उसको क्या लगा होगा उस वक्त, क्योंकि सेम फीलिंग मेरे लिए थी कि I love reading. I'm a crazy book lover, passionate bibliophile. And while doing that, if I can help my friend, it's a perfect win-win. Sone pe suhaga. And since then, so I think I'm not doing anything great. I'm just trying to solve an age-old problem.
Yes.
But with a lot of compassion and unselfishness. That is more important than the first part of the line, where I call myself as a social entrepreneur. That's the main reason why. So there is nothing great innovative idea. Pressy writing is there in our syllabus in 4th grade. I'm doing the same thing. It's just that when Lina says to her friend that, "Acha, kal tum college nahi aa pai?" Okay, no problem, Monica. Mere notes le lo.
Yes.
Right? That's what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing for the whole of India, without expecting anything in return. That is the main part why you invited me today for the show.
Yes.
Or else I would have been compared with the Olas and the Swiggies as an app developer.
As an app developer.
But I don't think you ever thought of me as an app developer, although I have an app. But
Yes.
for you, I'm a person who stands for the higher purpose of reading habit, who wants to cultivate the habit of reading amongst the youth of India.
Yes.
Why I'm saying it such of confidence? Because you started my introduction with my own motto and why of my life, that if I'm not reading, I'm not changing. And if I'm not changing, I'm not growing.
Yes.
And because of this strong belief, I have a burning desire to cultivate the habit of reading amongst the youth of India, and hence Mission Make India Read.
Yes. So again, it's a very stupid question. I think you are doing this like I think 6 years has been completed for booklet app, right? So
Yes.
आप bored नहीं हो जाते हो कि like from 6 years you are doing the same thing, reading, making summary, uploading, sharing. So like don't you think अभी आप break चाहिए, कुछ नया try करना है मुझे? I want to go for again a new startup, something like that.
See, Lina, I think it's a very sensitive question. Okay. In Marathi, there is a saying called नव्याचे 9 दिवस. Means कुछ भी नया चीज है उसको 9 दिन के लिए एक्साइटमेंट रहता है, फिर फुस. फिर वो कोई खिलौना हो या फिर शादी हो या फिर स्टार्टअप हो. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you take it in the right spirit. See, it's absolutely normal to lose the excitement over a period of time if you're working on something, right? But then, does it really make sense to do something different just because it is now too old for you or it doesn't excite you anymore? I mean, it's illegal in a marriage, of course, right? But there are no laws for a startup.
Yes.
But don't you think this will be a futile attempt to do something else just because I've been doing it for 6 years? I'm going to land in the same position few years later if I get into fitness or spirituality or whatever, anything new, right?
Yeah.
So the permanent solution is not to do different things, but to do things differently. Instead of diversifying horizontally and do something completely unrelated to books, why not innovate vertically? Because there is no limit to creativity, and do something in the fraternity of reading habit, which nobody has tried till now. And you see, for every 2-3 months, I come out with some or the other new idea, whether inside the app, outside the app. You know, that restores my excitement once again, because I'm doing something, the same thing differently, right? This is the only solution, to look at the same thing with new eyes, and suddenly it's a new game altogether.
Yes.
So that gives me an opportunity to share the new idea that I'm executing immediately. How about reading meditation with Booklet Guy? So what I've found that everybody wants to read. The common complaint is that, Amrut, I understand reading is important, but it's never a priority. We are bugged up with the daily chores and family pressures and boss ki gali. वो कब मतलब करना तो है यार. It's same like going to the gym, right? It's same like going to the gym. We all know exercising, reading, meditation, they all are so important, but never urgent.
Yes.
Yeah. So unfortunate that the most important things in life are never urgent. I said, okay, I found a solution. There are two ways to read regularly or exercise regularly. Okay. One is to increase the willpower, which is not so easy. It's difficult to increase the willpower because these things require a lot of willpower to do it consistently 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Or second way is to find an accountability partner so that you place some motivational factor. And that has worked for me in fitness. So I was struggling to exercise 6 days a week. Now that I have an accountability partner with whom I work out every day at 6 o'clock in the morning, I show up for him and he turns up for me.
Wow.
Out of respect, fear, I don't care. But apna kaam to ho raha hai, right? So I thought, how can I use this idea in reading? All my friends are still complaining कि 30 मिनट तो पढ़ना चाहिए रोज, पर नहीं होता है यार. So okay, that is, I think अगर ये नहीं कर पाया तो खाक Booklet Guy of India, I've failed.
Yes.
So a new concept where every day in the evening, 8:45 to 9:15 p.m. You simply, I'll share the Zoom link or the Google Meet link. We are going to join on that meeting video conference.
Okay.
Mouth shut, not a single word to be uttered. Just pick up the book and read for 30 minutes.
Okay.
Now, the fact that I'm just with you, भले वो online हो, but you are there with me. No, I'm with you, and बाकी के जो
Yes.
है, but मैंने बोला तो फालतू काम है वो भी है, but no, we know that reading को कभी प्रायोरिटी मिलती नहीं है. तो this will be a good reason कि चलो अभी ये 8:45 से 9:15 तक हमको ब्लॉक करना है, तो उसी पहले मैं बाकी के बर्तन मांज लेती हूँ, मेरे जो भी है बच्चे को सुला दूंगी, ये करूंगी, एंड देन यू विल मेक सम रूम for those 30 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, it will become more structured way of reading. So let's see. I'm about to start this idea. Inshallah, जरूर काम करेगा. Yeah.
I think बहुत ही innovative idea and बहुत ही सही idea. What you said about the accountability partner, I think that is something very true. कभी कभी like कहते हैं ना, if बोलना होता है ना कि हाँ भाई I am answerable for something, then definitely you start working on that direction. Right. So I think that it's a good thing. Amrut, I think you mentioned that you had a 3 startup which got failed, right? If you don't mind, if you can share about that, and probably if you like what you have learned from that thing, why that thing got failed, and how did you ensure कि अब जो आपका fourth startup है that goes well? So is there any learning key takeaway which you can share?
100%. In fact, I'm thankful that my first 3 startups failed. क्योंकि people say that in spite of 3 failed startups, you had the courage to try the 4th one, and अभी वो चला. मतलब in spite of 3 startups नहीं, because of those 3 failed startups, the 4th one has worked.
Yes.
If I reverse the order, booklet अगर पहला startup होता ना, guaranteed fail होता था. Because I learned so many things I should do, I shouldn't have done.
Yes.
I think that's a bigger list कि मुझे क्या नहीं करना है.
Yes.
इसकी clarity बहुत आई.
Yes.
And I think this is an understatement in our society कि लाइफ में क्या नहीं करना है इसके बारे में कोई नहीं बोलता है. हमको क्या करना है, तुम्हारा मकसद क्या है, तुम्हारा गोल क्या है, इसके बारे में हम ज्यादा बोलते हैं, which is not wrong, but what not to do.
What not to do.
So I realized कि पहले 3 स्टार्टअप्स में ना I did many things which were not required at that stage. For example, simple things जहाँ पे मैंने पैसे बहुत खर्च किए. Now the first thing when a person starts a startup is he prints his visiting card, letterheads, pamphlets, yeah, CEO डाल के लिखेगा. These are not really required because आप खुद देखो कि किसी का विजिटिंग कार्ड आपको मिलता है तो वो कहाँ जाता है, वो ड्रॉर में जाता है, एंड यू बेयरली रेफर इट, और कभी वो एक दिन वो कचरे के डब्बे में जाता है. What is important is exchange the number ना. आज के जमाने में जब हम किसी को मिलते हैं, I just have to give my number and take his or her number. Visiting cards don't work. But actually to satisfy my ego, अभी मुझे दिखाना है ना कि भाई मैं एक एंटरप्रेन्योर हूँ, तो हम विजिटिंग कार्ड छापते हैं, टी शर्ट बनाते हैं ना, चकाचक फर्नीचर चाहिए. आई थिंक दिस इज ऑल ईगो गेम कि असली जो चीज है उस पर हम खर्चा करने के बजाय कुछ और ही करते हैं. मेरी एक दोस्त है, सो शी इज अ कॉपीराइटर. उसने शी वाज सैक्ड ड्यूरिंग द कोविड टाइम and was little under fear, so she called me up कि क्या करूं. And she did a very wonderful thing. She followed my advice because I learned these things from my 3 failed startups. No visiting cards, nothing, कुछ भी नहीं किया. No email list, no कोई नया सर्विस प्रोवाइडर लिया जिससे SEO हिट करेगा या पोस्ट को बूस्ट करेंगे. नो, मैंने कहा कि तुम्हारे मोबाइल में कितने लोग हैं, कॉन्टैक्ट्स हैं. मतलब आमतौर पे 200-300 लोग हमारे कॉन्टैक्ट लिस्ट में होते हैं. जस्ट मैसेज देम, कॉल देम, टेल देम द ट्रुथ, शो योर वल्नरेबिलिटी दैट आई एम अ कॉपीराइटर, अभी जॉब छूट गया है, बट नो, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू गिव अप. अगर आपके आसपास कोई ऐसे कॉपीराइट का काम रहेगा तो प्लीज लेट मी नो, आई विल बी हैप्पी टू हेल्प. दैट्स इट. वहां से शुरू हुआ. अभी इसको कितना खर्चा है मुझे बताओ. जीरो खर्चा, काम भी कम, एंड शी गॉट द रिजल्ट. 300 में से कम 10 लोगों ने तो उसको काम दिया होगा. right? मैंने उसको बहुत सारा काम दिया. राइट. So this is what, no, just first things first. This is the name of the book. First things first is one of the habits of 7 habits of Stephen Covey. So this is the one biggest learning I learned, in PPA, कि हम फोकस कहीं और ही करते हैं. हमको बस दिखावा करना है, चकाचक फर्नीचर पे खर्चा करते हैं, और इंसान को सैलरी देते टाइम कंजूसी करते हैं. अरे उल्टा करो.
Yes.
Invest in humans. They are the biggest assets. Unfortunately, they are not part of our balance sheet. Right?
Definitely yes.
फर्नीचर फिक्सचर्स और पाइपलाइन वो सब बैलेंस शीट में दिखता है हमको. वहां
Hmm.
पे हम नो विल बाय द बेस्ट लैपटॉप इन द वर्ल्ड जस्ट टू शो ऑफ.
Yes.
या व्हील वाली कुर्सी लेंगे, चकाचक एसी लेंगे, उसमें कॉम्प्रोमाइज करो चलेगा. राइट. बट इफ यू सेव दैट मनी एंड इन्वेस्ट इन ह्यूमंस, they will help you during your bad times. Right.
Exactly. Yes. So I think yes, probably focusing on the core area or on your core skill is something I think we should always do that, right? Amrut, abhi ek point, as I said, like the idea of this talk show, it's basically we are into an accounting industry, right? We are into an offshore industry, and this podcast is basically for an accountant. जो कहते हैं ना, like they would be having a lot of challenges, they would be having a lot of issues. So हम लोग normally क्या करते हैं that we ask the influencer, the experts or leaders to come and share their journey. So in this case, for me, I think the biggest challenge, or I think the biggest situation which I see, that as an accountant or as an in the accounting industry, we don't give that much priority on the learning side. या learning को culture बनाना एक difficult challenge हो जाता है. So how you can help, or how you, what you can share कि यहाँ पे लोगों का perspective, specifically on accountant I'm saying, because that's the main target audience for me. So how do you think, especially आप भी वो journey से आए हैं, even you are a CA, so you know what normally how does a chartered accountant or an accountant thinks. उनके लिए books reading, learning ये सब priority नहीं होती है. So in this case, how you can specifically guide us कि भाई नहीं यार, learning, if you actually want to grow, if you actually want to sustain in your future, if you want to have a good growth, so learning is an important part hai, and probably reading is definitely one of the greatest method of learning. So what would be your points which you can share specifically on that perspective? And it's not only for integritarians, but definitely for all the accountants. So मैंने जैसे आपको बताया that I want learning and development should be a culture of integrity, not the department. Right? So same thing goes for everyone. So in that case, yes.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this question because that will make all the leaders uncomfortable through my answer. See, it has to do with leadership. Yeah. And most of the leaders in a corporate I see, they just want to get more things done from their employees. They want to improve their productivity. Yeah. कि मैं उनको जितना सैलरी दे रहा हूँ उसमें से ज्यादा मैं उनसे कैसे एफर्ट्स ले लूं उनका टाइम में से. Yeah. Now this comes from a mindset of instant gratification कि जल्द से जल्द मुझे टॉप लाइन इंप्रूव करना है, प्रॉफिट्स बढ़ाना है, रेवेन्यू बढ़ाना है, तो कैसे मैं ज्यादा से ज्यादा काम करवाऊं उनसे. Now this reminds me a story where two woodcutters are cutting trees. Both are equally strong, equally skilled. Yeah. The first woodcutter works for 8 hours every day and cuts some 100 trees. The second woodcutter, okay, he's equally strong, equally skillful. He works for 8 hours, but he could manage to cut only 50 trees, which is almost half of the first one.
Yes.
तो वो रोज ऐसा होता है और फिर you know, he obviously he is much ahead of him, वो ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल होता है, you know. तो ये जाके उसको पूछता है दूसरा वाला कि क्या तेरा सीक्रेट क्या है, मैं भी उतनी मेहनत कर रहा हूँ, तू भी कर रहा है, फिर ऐसा क्यों? हमारी स्ट्रेंथ भी उतनी है, हम जहाँ से वो एक्स खरीदते हैं वो भी सेम है, तो तुम क्या करते हो? तो वो बोलता है कि 8 घंटे में से 4 घंटा आई स्पेंड ऑन शार्पनिंग द सॉ. सॉ को शार्प करने में ही मैं टाइम देता हूँ, जो तुम नहीं करते. तुम बस चल रहा है तुम्हारा गधा मजूरी. I think this is that sharpening the saw is nothing but learning and development. Right? It will not give you instant results. It will give you in the long run. But होता क्या है, हम रोजमर्रा जिंदगी में इतना अटक जाते हैं कि नहीं वो क्या हुआ, उसका मेल का रिप्लाई नहीं गया, अरे वो कुरियर आया तुमने बताया नहीं मुझे, आज लेट क्यों आए, या क्यों छुट्टी चाहिए तुमको. These are all, no, it's very myopic, narrow way of thinking as a leader.
Yes.
I'll give you one example. I have a friend who was a gym trainer. I know the example is different, but I'm sure you will, all our accountants will understand it. एंड थोड़ा उसका वेट पुट ऑन हो गया. मैं बोला क्या चल रहा है यार, तू रोज जाता है उधर ट्रेनर, अभी तेरा वेट पुट ऑन हो गया. अरे हाँ यार, वो मैनेजर है ना, बहुत काम करवाता है तो एक्सरसाइज करने को टाइम ही नहीं मिलता है.
Yes.
मतलब व्हाट, यू आर इनटू हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस इंडस्ट्री, हाँ तुम दूसरों को ट्रेनिंग देते हो और खुद एक्सरसाइज नहीं करते हो.
Yes.
और मेरा इतना दिमाग हट गया. इट्स लाइक आस्क अमृत आस्किंग हिज फ्रेंड फरीद हु इज वर्किंग ऑन बुकलेट,
Yeah.
ए तू वर्किंग आवर में बुक क्यों पढ़ रहा है, चल काम कर.
Yes.
This is nonsense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, reading should be the main part.
Mhm.
बाकी सब बाद में. I made to leave that job कि ये मत करो तुम, यू स्टार्ट योर, अगर तुम्हारा बॉस तुमको एक्सरसाइज करने नहीं दे रहा है, इज अ बैड बॉस.
Mm.
उसको बस पैसों में इंटरेस्ट है. क्योंकि अगर तुम खुद तुम्हारा पेट बाहर आएगा तो तुम्हारा जो स्टूडेंट है वो देखेगा, व्हाई विल वी बिलीव कि
Yes.
उसके भी सिक्स पैक्स आने वाले, क्योंकि तुम्हारे सिक्स पैक्स नहीं है.
Exactly.
So this is what you have to learn long term. जहां जहां मौका मिलता है, think if this is going to give me a short term gain, no, I have to give up that short term gain for a long term benefit.
Exactly. Okay. I think yeah, probably ये बात सही है that you need to manage to take out time for your learning at the same time, and कभी कभी होता है कि यहाँ भी workload ज़्यादा है. So sometime individual, as in even if I talk about myself also, so that it happens कि भाई कभी कभी reading नहीं कर रहे हैं, but definitely वो समझना जरूरी है मेरे लिए भी कि वो मेरा ही loss है, right? So जैसे आपने कहा कि एक priority देनी जरूरी है. So learning को priority कैसे आनी चाहिए उसके लिए how what you can share, because as you said even like everyone who is working, they have their daily commitments, but at the same time understanding the importance of learning. So how does learning and reading helps an individual and a professional?
Yeah, very good point. See, it is very easy to blend learning some new skill without daily tasks. Very easy. And the biggest opportunity is when somebody makes a mistake. I see it an opportunity.
Yes.
So as a leader, I do this always. When Farid, again, my colleague,
Yeah.
who is my subordinate, my partner, everything, better half of booklet.
Yes.
When he commits a mistake, okay, typically 5 years ago, I would have just refuted. क्या कर रहा है तू, इतना समझता नहीं, अक्ल नहीं, इतना simple चीज है, it's a clerical mistake. अभी वो नहीं करता. The more I become an empathetic person, a servant leader, and not a boss leader.
Yes.
सर्वेंट लीडर क्या करता है? सर्वेंट लीडर, मेरा काम है टू टेक अ पॉज एंड थिंक कि ये मिस्टेक मैंने खुद की थी क्या पहले. एंड यू बी सरप्राइज लीना, इफ यू बी ब्रूटली ऑनेस्ट टू योरसेल्फ, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम वो मिस्टेक हमने कहीं तो की रहती है सालों साल पहले.
Yes.
ऐसा नहीं है कि हम एक्स्ट्रा दिमाग लेके आए हैं. सबका सरफेस लेवल पे सबका आईक्यू सेम रहता है.
Yes.
सबका लॉजिक सेम रहता है, राइट? एंड देन इफ आई एम बीइंग वेरी ऑनेस्ट कि ये मिस्टेक मैंने भी की थी, तो उसको सुधारने के लिए मैंने कौन से स्टेप्स लिए थे,
Okay.
क्या मैंने सिस्टम में कुछ चेंजेस लाए थे, राइट? तो वो सॉल्यूशन मैं उसको देता हूँ. और हाउ डू आई डू इट? आई टेक अ पॉज ऑफ 1 day, इमीडिएटली नहीं बोलता हूँ बिकॉज ही माइट गेट हर्ट.
Yes.
ऑन द सेकेंड डे, ऑन द डाइनिंग टेबल, ऑन द लंच टेबल, मैं बोलता हूँ उसको कि फरीद, अरे पता है तुमने जो कल किया ना, सेम मिस्टेक मैंने भी किया था. The moment I say this line, now suddenly the fear goes away and he thinks that I and him are on the same page. We are same. I don't have an upper hand on him. I'm not his boss.
Exactly. Yes.
And then I give the solution. उसको पता ही नहीं चलता कि I'm criticizing him.
Okay.
Right?
I think that's
Okay.
a good idea.
Yeah. And then I'll see कि चलो ये Excel sheet पे जो ये काम पे 4 घंटे जा रहे हैं, can you check out some new functions? Go on YouTube कि वी लुकअप करके फंक्शन होता है जिससे 1 घंटे का काम 5 मिनट में हो सकता है. कैन यू लर्न मैक्रोस, which is a coding in itself. You don't need an IT knowledge of it. It is an opportunity, right? और फिर ऐसे काम में वो I don't have to tell what to do or how to do. Just मुझे ये solution चाहिए अभी. It's up to you.
Yes.
How to find a solution. You Google करो, course ले लो, कुछ भी करो. Right? I think this is leadership. That tell them what to do and then get off their way and let them decide how to do. तो जो ऑटोनॉमी और फ्रीडम उनको मिलती है ना कि उन्होंने सॉल्यूशन खुद निकाला,
Yes.
और मुझे लाके दिया, that sense of achievement is very very important.
Exactly. I think yeah, probably ये एक सही actually बहुत बार क्या होता है, जैसे the way you said, so normally this is the best way. Give them a point that I want this thing, you can figure it out, I am giving, like, you have all those resources available, try to utilize it at your best and then come out with the solution. So yes, जो एक satisfaction होता है ना कि हाँ भाई मैंने problem का solution निकाला, that actually motivates
That is
everyone.
nothing but learning and development.
That is
That is
learning and
exactly learning and development.
that motivates कि अब
Yes.
मुझे और जाना है. So once there is a starting point, you will go deeper into that, right?
Correct.
So because you have read almost lot of books, so 3 books if you can actually advise for an accountant, भाई अब इस direction में आना है, learning को समझना है, so 3 books for an accountant. I think many people have asked you about different situations. के books के नाम मुझे पता है, like I have been seeing your videos, but this is something if you can specifically give to accountant कि भाई ये books, this will change your mindset.
Correct.
So if you can suggest something on that side.
I think Robert Greene has written a wonderful book called Mastery.
Okay.
That how to gain mastery in your field. He has given diverse examples, right from Pablo Picasso, Michelangelo, and it is applicable to all types of fields, including accountancy. So that is number one book. It's a must read. Mastery, written by Robert Greene. Another is Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Psychology of Money. I've read many books on finance, investments, but this book stands out in particular. Psychology of Money, written by Morgan Housel. Yeah. Another book specifically for accountants, because most of the time we complain that accounting is a stereotype job. It is repetitive. There is no creativity in it.
Yes.
But that's an illusion. Okay.
Exactly.
We know curiosity is a habit. It is a choice. Okay. It's up to you whether to look at it as boring or get curious about it.
Yes.
Yeah. And so a book written by Scott Adams for how to fail at almost everything and still win big. I repeat, how to fail at almost everything and still win big.
Okay.
By Scott Adams. And what he says is a very interesting technique of how to stand out as an accountant. And I mean, he hasn't given an example of accountant, but you can stand out in a huge crowd of accountants. How? One is to be the best in the category. Like Sachin is the best player in the existing category called cricket or batting.
Yes.
But it is very difficult to be number one in that existing category, right? Or there is an easier way. Okay. Combine 2 or 3 skills. Okay. Which are no way related to each other, so that you become a new category in itself. And because it is a new category in itself, there is no competition. By the time you are done. I'll first give the example of the author and then my own example.
Sure.
So the author, Scott Adams, was a good painter, but not a great painter like M.F. Hussain or Pablo Picasso. But he painted a little better than most of his friends. So he was marginally better. Yes. But not a number one painter in the world. Yes. Second, he comes from a business background, but not a business tycoon or a great businessman, a successful businessman. Okay. And third, he had a good sense of humor. Okay. But not a professional stand-up comedian. You see, 3 skills in which you are marginally better than others, not an expert in each skill, unlike the first category which I talked about, Sachin. Yeah. But you are good more than most of your friends. When you combine these 3 skills and mix it well, suddenly you become something different. You become a new category in itself. So Scott Adams, suddenly became a famous business cartoonist. Okay. You understood? A painter, a painter with good sense of humor and with some business background. Suddenly, the famous Scott Adams, the business cartoonist. Okay. You get my point? Yes. Yeah. Now there is a lot of scope for creativity if you combine. Take my example. Okay, reading. Yes. I'm good at reading. I may not be the best reader in the world, but I know I read a little better than most of my friends. Yeah, I speak well, but I may not be the best orator in the world. And I have some penchant for technology, but I'm not a techie geek.
Yes.
I combined the three marginally okay skills. Suddenly, booklet guy was born. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a point. That's a different point again. Uh, so I think because you said about this booklet point, I have got the key of your booklet app, because I know it's not very easy to enter the booklet app, and there's also something like Piglet, right? Wherein you are, hello, uh, yeah,
आपकी आवाज चली गई थी.
yeah,
Hang हो गया
yeah,
था अभी.
yeah. I think that's okay. So yeah, so I got a login, I got a key to log into your booklet app, and I was reading that books. Actually, I have started reading the summary of those books, and in the end, there is a Piglet, wherein you are raising money to use for the underprivileged kids, or like so that you can contribute to the society in the form of education as well, right? So वो भी एक बहुत ही innovative thought था. So how did that thought came into?
Uh, yeah, I think it came from the need that I have 4,000 books at home, and young boys and girls started asking that we can't afford to buy books, but we want to read.
Yes.
So मैं उनको कैसे help करूँ, because everything I'm giving everything for free. And I was completely against putting ads on
Yes.
booklet app. But then I constantly kept on thinking that how can I nicely blend this revenue stream of ads with my main purpose
Yes.
of cultivating reading habit to make India read, so that I feel satisfied and with a sense of contribution. So ये idea click हुआ कि how about asking questions to you
Yes.
based on the summary that you read. Okay, for every right answer you give, some certain amount of money will be given to a needy reader for buying books or to join a library. Okay. Or from where the funds will be raised,
Yeah.
that Q&A screen, the quiz screen will have an ad at the bottom. So the Google ads का जो पैसा आएगा will be used through your effort. Only if you give the right answer, that money will be used and given to the needy, passionate readers. So you will feel a very great sense of कि मेरे answer देने से किसी का भला हो रहा है. I am acting as a platform, and revenue comes from Google ads. So now this is perfectly blending with my why.
Yes, yes. Because I have been using it, so I thought let me ask and let the viewers also be aware of this. That again, when there is a great mission and vision, there are a lot of different ways how you are helping to society again, right? Not one thing which I want to ask is reading is a different thing, and applying your reading in your life to improve on something. So getting like learning different things, reading different things, and applying those learnings or readings in your life, in your professional career, in your journey. How does that happen?
See, this comes from the flawed concept of schooling, where we are indirectly taught that you have to sit within the four walls of classroom for 10-15 years and then apply in the real world.
Yes.
It's as if they are two different worlds.
Yeah.
And if that is a real world, classroom is not a real world, क्या? So ऐसा नहीं है. And उसकी वजह से हमको ये पढ़ना है, फिर apply करना है. This line came from you because of this root education coming from this education system. So ऐसा कुछ learning or applying are not two different phases.
Okay.
It's one and the same. It's like a girl wants to learn piano. Will she say, I'm learning piano, then I'll play piano? ऐसा होता है क्या?
ऐसा तो definitely नहीं होता है.
She's playing piano while she's learning, and she's learning while playing. It's one and the same.
Yes.
They're not two different phases, right? That's what. So when I'm reading a book, I don't have to wait till the last page.
Yeah.
One line, one paragraph which shatters my mind कि अरे यार मैं जो सोच रहा हूँ उसका एकदम उल्टा बोल रहा है पर सही बोल रहा है. I think I was wrong, he's right. I would force myself to take action on it within 48 hours. Within 48 hours. वरना वो नहीं होगा because our brain is not made to break the routine.
Yeah.
We fall back to old behavior.
Yes.
तो force करना है आपको खुद को. Yeah. And not every idea is actionable.
Yes.
One is it is very clear कि action ले सकते हैं. Okay. फिर हमारे urgency पे कि कितना जल्दी action लेना है. दूसरे होते हैं mindset shifting ideas.
Yes.
They're not actionable, but they force you to replace your old ideologies with new ones.
New ones.
For example, I used to feel that introverts, people who talk less, they're shy, submissive, are not smart. Was my belief.
Okay.
Only the outspoken, flashy guys are smart.
Yes.
Until I read a book called Quiet by Suzanne Cain. I've summarized it. जो भी बुक से नाम ले रहा हूँ, needless to mention कि वो बुकलेट में summarize हो चुका है.
Yeah.
And what she said, literally, I had a tight slap on my face.
Okay.
Is the quality of an idea and the ability to express that idea has nothing to do with each other.
Okay.
जिसको बोलने का स्किल नहीं है, मतलब उसके दिमाग में अच्छे आइडियाज नहीं हो सकते क्या?
ऐसा तो नहीं.
Wow, I was so wrong. Now it is not an actionable idea, but henceforth when I face an introvert guy or a girl, my duty is to try to make her open up. I know she's shy, she's socially awkward. Agreed. पर उसके दिमाग में कुछ great ideas हो सकते हैं. उसको कैसे extract करना है? How can I make her open up, make her feel comfortable? तो अभी meetings में मैं क्या करता हूँ? Usually meetings में the flashy guys end up talking the most.
Yes.
The extrovert guys. Now I've made a rule: 3 minutes. Each member of the meeting will speak, no less, no more.
Okay.
3 मिनट से कम भी नहीं, ज्यादा भी नहीं. वरना वो 3 मिनट में वो जो इंट्रोवर्ट वाला है वो 1 मिनट बोल के खत्म करेगा.
Yes.
कंपल्सरी 3 मिनट्स, नॉट मोर देन दैट. तो एक्सट्रोवर्ट वाला भी चुपचाप बराबर 3 मिनट का ही बना के आएगा.
वो इम्पोर्टेंट है.
Yeah, and the problem is solved.
Yes.
Right. So these are the things. I empathize with introverts now. Right. So it's just a changing my mindset or heart set. Yeah.
I think you know what, Amrut, couple of things even I have learned during this conversation. जैसे जो आपने बोला कि भाई ये जो idea है 3 minutes वाला, I think वो एक अच्छा idea है. So we used to give that कि minimum 5 minutes everyone has to say or maximum 500, but 5 minutes ही जो था हम उस पे stick नहीं करते थे. So now we can apply that in our organization as well. Now actually, as the reason, as I said, like reading का एक culture build करना है, right? So what we are doing is we are having a reading allowance in our organization. So if you read your book, if you are interested in reading, you read, you summarize your book and share that thing with us. We are also having a readers club also. Even in our learning and development sessions which we take, so we give them a book, we tell them कि भाई ये read करके आना, अपना summary share करना. So is there anything else which you can suggest us जहाँ पे like wherein we are having a team of 1500 right now, wherein we are progressing toward 5000 team member. So ये जो culture है, ये जो process है reading का, वो उतना ही proper way में, structure way में जाता रहे हर जगह. So from the top till the bottom, वो जो कहते हैं ना culture जो develop होना चालू हुआ है, वो continue रहे. So can you suggest something on that? Because again, आप जैसे मैंने कहा कि कहते हैं ना ये एक प्रॉब्लम, रीडिंग इज अ प्रॉब्लम, लाइक एवरीवन थिंक्स इट लाइक दैट कि भाई रीडिंग मुझे नहीं मजा आता, राइट? तो वो माइंड से ब्रेक करवाना, उन लोगों को इन्वॉल्व करवाना, उन लोगों को उस तरह का टॉपिक देना कि भी उनको मजा आए, या कैसे कर सकते हैं हम इस चीजों में, कैसे हाउ वी कैन इन्वॉल्व मोर एंड मोर पीपल इनटू दिस रीडिंग हैबिट इन इंटीग्रिटी. बिकॉज डेफिनेटली वी, अगेन आई एम सेइंग, वी वांट ये लोगों में खुद से आना चाहिए, बट एट अ पॉइंट समटाइम यू नीड अ हेल्पिंग हैंड अगेन. Right, so we are just trying to bring that culture कि भी लोगों को मजा आना चाहिए कि भाई चलो आज रीडिंग सेशन है, लोगों में ऐसे एक्साइटमेंट आना चाहिए, and to maintain to all different branches, to from top to the bottom row. So what you can suggest on that part?
Sure. To introduce a reading culture, first we need to understand that the ideas are there inside these two cardboards. Okay, presented in black ink on a white paper.
Yes.
Unless they don't come out of this sandwiched cardboard, they are dead.
Yes.
If you read it and put the book on the bookshelf, it's dead.
Yes.
Okay, dead. So the journey doesn't end at the last page of the book. In fact, the journey begins when you turn the last page of the book. So what I have done in Booklet House, I have many friends come in and you will see a beautiful atmosphere here. Young boys and girls, abhi 10th 12th के जो internship कर रहे, let's say one is sitting on the bean bag reading a book, one is discussing. तो मैं करता क्या हूँ, whatever idea I have learned in the recent book yesterday,
Okay.
I share it. One big idea, not the summary,
Yes.
not the critical appraisal,
Okay.
not the review of
Yes.
the author. One big idea, that shattered my mind, or the wow factor,
Perfect.
or a story or anecdote of the author. I share it on the dining table during the coffee break, or maybe throughout the day, right?
Okay.
And that evokes curiosity in the people. अरे अगर ये इतनी एक चीज इतनी बढ़िया है तो और क्या क्या हो सकता है बुक में.
Yes.
And they are forced to borrow the book from me. I
Okay.
proudly lend it to them.
Send it to
Yeah.
them, yes.
So normally we speak 7,000 words per day in a day. 7,000, which is worth 30 pages of a novel.
Okay.
But unfortunately, 80% of those 7,000 words are small talks.
Yes.
अरे वो क्या सलमान खान की पिक्चर कितनी बकवास है, अरे विराट क्या 0 पे आउट हो गया, है ना, वो बॉस को गाली देना, गॉसिप. I think this has to be done away. And when I share that one big idea, ये सब फालतूगिरी सब अपने आप चले जाते, and the quality of conversation is shot up at such a level. So what I do is, whenever there is a group of friends or colleagues, I make sure to give proper direction to the discussion. It is not random. पहले अभी मोदी के बारे में अचानक कुछ पाकिस्तान, फिर रशिया को यूक्रेन. No.
Okay.
My job as a leader of the group, as the leader of the pack, is to give proper direction, bring them back if they get diverted on one big idea that you have read from the recent book.
Okay.
धीरे 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 अपने आप सब लोग इसके बारे में बात करेंगे.
बात करना चालू करेंगे. Okay. Again a good one. Yes. So Amrut, would you like to share any of your 3 actual, like probably a success story kind of a thing, like कहते हैं ना जिसको पहले reading habit नहीं थी and being associated with you, they have started being a reader, a hardcore reader, and like someone like if you would like to share any of those 3 stories, if you can relate or if you can remember, because इतने सारे readers हैं, इतने सारे लोग हैं, so I'm not sure if you can recollect anything.
Yeah, in fact thousands of examples. कितने लोग हैं, एक लड़का बोला कि मैं 10 साल नाके पे जाके टपोरीगिरी करता था, सिगरेट पीता था. He admitted that I was molesting the passerbys, and कहीं ना कहीं आपका सुना कोई फ्री है तो डाउनलोड किया. I was not interested in it, but फ्री है तो क्या जाता है मेरा.
Yes.
And Dada, for the first time I bought a book in my life. Stopped going to that place. Stop wasting time. I've changed my friends. Yeah, और अभी जल्दी मैं Kindle लेने वाला हूँ.
Okay.
I think these are my achievements. Yeah, that such emails give me tears of joy.
Yes. Amazing. Yes. So probably Amrut, I think apart from this, we would like to know Amrut Deshmukh more on the personal side, right? So I have a quick rapid fire round for you, and maybe with the help of this quick rapid fire round, Amrut Deshmukh के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत कुछ और पता चल सकेगा. So apart from reading and gymming, because I have seen a lot of your photos and a lot of your posts wherein you are saying about gym, you are a hardcore fitness lover. That's what I can understand. So apart from reading and gymming, what makes you happy? And
What makes me happy?
This reading, like success story, है वो भी उसमें part नहीं होगा. So apart from reading and gymming, आपको क्या happy करता है? Like what makes you happy? Because
I think something. Yeah. I think, see, I am a man of values. And when somebody is influenced through my set of values, I become the happiest person. I'll give you some examples.
Yes.
I have a friend who 3 days ago got an iPhone.
Okay.
You know what he said? Amrut, had I not met you 1.5 years ago, I would have boasted my iPhone on Instagram कि देखो मैंने iPhone लिया. But today, since 1.5 years, we are friends. I think वो एक वस्तु है, उसको इतना ज्यादा भाव नहीं देना चाहिए. इंसान ज्यादा important है, वस्तु है, उसकी औकात वही है. And that made my day. I said, yes, ये मेरी जीत है. One girl, very good friend of mine, she recently got married. You know what she said? कि अमृत अगर तुझे नहीं मिलती ना तो शायद ना मैं कोई अमीर लड़का देखती
अच्छा।
जानबूझ के ना। पर अभी मुझे समझा कि तू तो ठीक है ना, तू चाहता तो महीने का 10 लाख भी कमा सकता था, बट यू आर सो हैप्पी। और मुझे समझ में आया कि ना द रियल जो मजा है वो
हम्म।
पैसों में नहीं है, दैट इज वन ऑफ द मीन्स एंड नॉट द एंड।
यस।
एंड आई दैट मेड माय डे। So I think going back to the basic values, and then if that is reflected in your near and dear ones, that makes me very happy.
Nice. Okay, let me just share one more story for you. Maybe you can share it in a later stage. So actually, I was traveling from Chandigarh to Ahmedabad, and booklet app में internet की तो जरूरत है नहीं, right? वो तो free में, मतलब वो इसके बिना भी चलता है. So in flight, I was reading the summary of Rich Dad and Poor Dad. And मेरी बेटी थी मेरे साथ 6 साल की. So I started sharing that thing to her also. मैं उसको समझाने की कोशिश कर रही थी कि भाई हमें एसेट परचेस करना है, लायबिलिटी नहीं करनी है. So वो like she was also asking me a lot of questions and I was trying to answer all of those things. So मुझे अच्छा लगा कि चलो ये टाइम को मैंने अच्छे से यूटिलाइज किया, instead of sitting and doing nothing or maybe कहते ना टाइम पास ही करे, तो like फ्लाइट में और कुछ तो ऑप्शन होता नहीं है. So actually I utilized that time and I actually felt good. And just
Very
like
good.
a few days back only, I told my husband, like actually I'm very fond of watches. So I told my husband that from now onwards I will not spend my money on buying watches, but I start investing in some good way जहाँ पे मेरे को कुछ return मिले. So I will not spend my money on the expense, on the liability, but I will do it on the like I will start purchasing assets something. So मतलब definitely knowledge तो मेरे में पहले भी था. CA मतलब not even CA, the general person you also know कि भाई watch खरीदने से कुछ फायदा है नहीं. Ultimately it is waste. But I shared with my husband and he was like, ठीक है ना. मैंने हाँ मैंने वो बुक पढ़ी and I thought एक चीज को तो मैं अप्लाई करना चालू कर ही दूँ. And so probably I thought ये मैं आपके साथ शेयर करूँ. And मैं मेरी डॉटर को भी ये चीज बार बार बोलती हूँ. If she tells me something कि मुझे ये परचेस करना है, so then I ask her, तुझे क्या लगता है इसका कुछ वैल्यू आने वाला है तेरे पास बाद में? So slowly and gradually probably I will start educating her on the finance side, जो शायद हम लोग मिस करते हैं हर बार. So even I'll start doing it. So ये चीज मैं सोचा आपके साथ शेयर
Very
करूँ.
good. So proud of you, Lina. That reminds me, if you could allow me to share. So as I said, my favorite hobby is to share one big idea from
Yes.
the book that I recently read.
Yeah.
So since you talked about it, I read a book called Minimalism.
Okay.
Minimalism is about having things which are minimally required for you and not falling prey to the collection syndrome.
Yes.
Correct करना है
That is
बस छोटा बड़ा टीवी ये वो. The example that you gave of that
yes.
you're fond of watches, very good idea. Not to fall prey to the collection syndrome. Okay, we
Yes.
all love कुछ फैंसी दिखा शॉपिंग में, इम्पल्सिव शॉपिंग, लिस्ट में लिखा नहीं है फिर भी हमने उसको
Late.
ले लिया. आई नो इट इज एब्सोल्युटली नॉर्मल. मेरे साथ भी ऐसा हुआ है. तो ऑथर गिव्स अ वंडरफुल आइडिया टू टेम ड्यूरिंग शॉपिंग.
Okay.
And I'm trying to I've started practicing this. कोई भी नई चीज जब घर के अंदर आती है
Hmm.
तो discard one equivalent thing out of your house so that the house is always in balance. For example, हाँ, अगर कोई पेन अंदर आ रहा है, just a crude example,
Yes.
तो उसके equivalent कुछ तो जाएगा बाहर.
Yes.
Maybe an extra scale or a rubber वो बाहर जाएगा.
Yes.
या अगर कोई टी शर्ट आ रहा है अंदर तो कोई पुराना ड्रेस जो सबसे पुराना है आप नहीं यूज करो बाहर जाएगा.
आ जाएगा.
I think this makes a lot of sense,
Yes, makes a
and
lot.
I'm trying to take action on it.
Yes. I think again, yeah, ये चीज I think it serves both the purposes actually. एक तो again, as you said, you will start balancing, and at the same time we'll start looking on the needy people also. So we'll start giving things to the needy people. ऐसे तो नहीं तो पड़ा रहेगा कबर्ड में स्टॉक होता जाएगा, बट व्हेन वी कॉन्शियसली डिसाइड कि एक लाना है और एक देना है, सो विल स्टार्ट थिंकिंग ऑफ कि चलो इसको देते हैं जिसको जरूरत है. सो दैट इज अगेन इट्स ऑफ बोथ द पर्पस. ओके. अगर आपको एक दिन के लिए एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर बना दिया जाए, सो व्हाट यू विल डू और व्हाट वुड बी द चेंज यू विल ब्रिंग?
See, I remember I used to hate trigonometry so much.
Okay.
You know, And then I realized the problem was not with the subject, but with the teacher.
Okay.
And had she taken me outside the classroom and taken me on that flyover bridge which was under construction 5 minutes away from me
Hmm.
and told me that, Amrut, look, the principles of sine cos theta are
Ah.
used here,
Okay.
and they're actually used at some knowledge. Every line of your syllabus is applied somewhere in the
Somewhere.
world.
Yes.
Right now, it is not applied by me in booklet, but
Hmm.
sine cos theta is used to build flyover bridges.
Okay.
I would have loved to learn sine cos theta, right?
मुझे भी अभी पता चला.
Yeah, but locking myself inside the four walls and just listening to the teacher is not natural. This is not learning.
This is not
This
learning.
is criminal. This is criminal. Yeah, I think so. Education is the only field where if the product fails,
Yes.
the consumer is blamed.
Yes.
Right? Yeah,
It's
if the
only
student fails, the
product.
student is blamed, not the teacher.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think the Three Idiots is a very good message. I think every parent and teacher
Hmm.
should learn from the main message that Three Idiots has given us, and hence I started my own parallel education. ठीक है, formal education है, but it may not be 100%.
Yes.
I have to start my own parallel education through Mongoose Sold His Ferrari and Chanakya Niti and Whom Would My Cheese, Spencer Johnson, Paulo Coelho, and Rich Dad Poor Dad. And
Yes.
then I realized the more I know, the more I come to know
Yes.
that there is a lot that I don't know.
That is the best part of this thing. When you
Hmm.
start going deeper, you will realize कि मुझे तो अभी कितना सब नहीं पता है. And this is again the curiosity which will enhance you to go much more deeper and deeper into that thing. So first thing start करना पड़ेगा कि क्या नहीं पता है, so that we actually realize कि भाई अभी तो और कितना कुछ बाकी है. Okay. What is that one thing which you would like to ban?
Ban. Huh. Okay. Of late, I have observed through my own behavior. Most of us say that the youngsters have, उनका attention span कम हो गया है.
Yes.
Some people claim it has fallen down to 30 seconds. I beg to disagree.
Okay.
I don't agree with this. Attention span has not gone down.
Hmm.
It's the fact that thousands of videos are available on a click away. I'm never satisfied on the video that I'm watching right now.
Yes.
There is always a thought
So
at the background that next video might be better than this one.
exactly.
And that compels us to leave this video and seek a better video and a better video. And it's never a better video. So this is called as problem of plenty and not attention span. Same applies with the number of channels. We keep scanning those channels. कुछ एक channel पे settle नहीं होते. It same goes to the huge number of food items at a wedding reception. और पता है ना, तुरंत 10 मिनट में भूख मर जाती है, पेट भर जाता है, because we are so overwhelmed. अरे ये खाऊं या वो खाऊं या ये खाऊं और पेट भर जाता है.
Yes.
The same goes with a fat book. Okay, अरे बाप रे, मेरे को 300 पेजेस की बुक पढ़नी है, and we just turn the pages, we don't read.
Yes.
या फिर ये बुक पढ़ू या वो बुक पढ़ू. So इसका solution ये है, कि of course I don't know how to ban this thing, but the solution is, it's very fundamental. Have faith. Have faith in the author. Have faith in yourself. The video which you're watching may be the great video. Just forget about the other things.
Yes.
Have faith in Google algorithm that the article you are reading right now is one of the best articles that Google has given you, because नहीं तो आप Google पे क्यों जा रहे हो फिर if you don't trust them. पर हम करते क्या है, if I am searching a keyword or a phrase,
Yes.
like how to increase the traffic on your website, तो हम क्या करते हैं, हम पहले 5 जो आते हैं गूगल पे उसको राइट क्लिक करके क्रोम पे ओपन करके रखेंगे. The moment the 5 tabs are open on Chrome, I'll start reading the first one. The moment एक पैराग्राफ हो गया, I start thinking नहीं, second tab में शायद कुछ और अच्छा लिखा होगा. So see, and then at the end of the day, we are never satisfied people.
Yes.
We end up doing shallow reading, shallow watching.
Yeah.
And then we are never satisfied.
Never satisfied.
So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, this is वो क्या बोले, मृग जल जैसे है ना, वो रास्ता पे आगे एक पानी दिखता है हमको, वो लगता है वो पानी है, पर वो पानी नहीं है, जस्ट
Yes.
रोड शाइनिंग. तो ऐसा कुछ हमारे साथ हो रहा है.
I maybe yes. शायद हम सब जगह पे देखने जाए हमें ज्यादा नॉलेज ना मिले, बट प्रोबेबली हम एक को ही अच्छे से देखें तो शायद हमें इससे ज्यादा बेटर नॉलेज मिल सकता है. So yes, instead of going into all the things, maybe we can pick 2 or 3 and then continue with that thing. And yeah, एक बार finish हो जाए फिर शायद देख सकते हैं आगे और क्या है. Okay. If Amrut was not a booklet guy, then what else Amrut would be?
I would have been a booklet man. I'm just kidding. Maybe मैं कुछ probably I would have joined Indian Army.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Mostly या फिर कोई sport में मैं मेरा career करता. In fact, I tried. I was a table tennis player.
Okay.
It did not work out. But ऐसे either I would have been a sportsman or I would have joined in defense force.
Okay. So that's nice. I think ये जो अमृत के जो भी viewers होंगे उसके लिए तो I think new point होगा. That apart from that guy, what Amrut could be. Right. So I'm done with my rapid fire round. I normally end my talk show with one question. One best piece of advice you have received, which you have started applying, and one best piece of advice you will give to the viewers. So what would be that one best piece of advice?
Wow. One advice one of my partners gave me during my second startup, which was a stock market related startup.
Okay.
He said that, if somebody gives you some service for free,
Okay.
तो उसको ना अकाउंट को खत्म करो, भले ही वो छोटी सर्विस हो. डोंट कीप दैट अकाउंट ओपन. फॉर एग्जांपल, अ लॉयर गिव्स यू सम एडवाइस आउट ऑफ काइंड जेस्चर.
Yes.
वो टेबल पे 1,000 रुपए रख के निकल आ जाओ.
अच्छा.
नाउ ही कांट से कि 1,000 रुपए बहुत कम है.
Yes.
बट इफ यू जस्ट लीव इट विदाउट एनी क्विड प्रो क्यू, कल वो 10 साल 20 साल के बाद क्या मांगेगा, यू हैव नो आइडिया, एंड यू विल बी अंडर ऑब्लिगेशन टू गिव इट बैक. कुछ भी मांग सकता है. So don't keep your accounts open. Of course, this is not for your near and dear ones or family members, okay? For those colleagues and yeah. So दोस्तों में ऐसा नहीं होता है. दोस्त में बहुत लीवे होता है.
Yes.
The best advice that I usually give to all my friends, and I've learned obviously from a book called The Power of Less. I don't recollect the name of the author. The Power of Less. I've typically seen, including chartered accountants, we think that as service providers or as producers, the more number of offerings I have on my plate, okay, I'll get more number of customers or clients.
Yes.
Yes, in the short term, no, in the long term. Simple example. Lina, you want to buy a mango. It's mango season. The summer's mango season. There are 2 fruit sellers in your locality, side by side. One is selling only mangoes.
Okay.
All types of mangoes. Hapus, Pairi, Langda, वो जो भी है सब. And huge stock है उसके पास. Only mangoes. Okay. Beautiful yellow, orange mangoes. The guy next to him is selling mangoes, but along with mangoes, he's also selling sitafal, farnas, yes, pineapple, apple, banana, chiku, सब कुछ.
Yes.
Where will you go?
Right now the mangoes का season है, तो yes to the mango guy. Hello. Yeah. I think there was.
Where will you go?
Yeah, so I'll go to the mango guy again because
the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't tell me why. You will go to the first guy.
Yes.
If you want to buy mangoes. Now, here's the biggest message here I want to give is why? Because you invariably assume that the person who is selling only mangoes means he's great at it. Whereas in fact, they both must be having the same quality of mangoes, but we assume he must be great at it. Exactly. You know why? Now, from his point of view, it was very difficult for him to say no to all other varieties of fruits, which the other person could not say no. दूसरा जो फ्रूट वाला जो सब कुछ बेच रहा है, उसने क्या सोचा होगा कि नहीं मैं ये सब कुछ लिखूंगा तो ज्यादा कस्टमर आएंगे. In the short term, yes, शायद उसके पास भीड़ ज्यादा रहेगी. But in the long run, the guy who is selling only mangoes will be more successful. Okay, this is the power of less. Which is the best burger in the world?
I'm not a burger person, but probably
Still,
KFC. Probably.
KFC, McDonald's or KFC?
Uh, we can pick any way.
Which where will you go if you want to eat burger? Where will you go?
I'll go to McDonald's.
McDonald's. All right.
Yes.
It is not necessary that McDonald's sells the best burgers in the world,
Yes.
but because the moment I talk about McDonald's, about burger, you thought about McDonald's because McDonald's doesn't sell pav bhaji and pani puri
Yes.
and biryani. Because they said no to other things, now suddenly they stand out of the huge crowd of restaurants. Now, McDonald's is not a restaurant, McDonald's is a burger seller.
Yes.
This is the message I want to give to all the accountants. I have a friend. She came crying कि यार इतना मेहनत किया, CA किया, पर ठीक ठाक चल रहा है, clients नहीं बढ़ रहे, क्या करूं? I said, who are you? I said, what? Who are you? I am a chartered accountant. पर CA तो अभी गली गली में है, तो मैं तुम्हारे पास क्यों आऊं? Why will I prefer you over the person next to you? वो तो अगले दरवाजे पे बैठा है वो ऑफिस डाल के. So she got puzzled. I said, come on, let's discuss. Okay. And then we came out with an idea to cut down the offerings to such a narrow level. And then we realized that she has lot of interest in transfer pricing. You know, there's a small topic called transfer pricing in CA final, जो मैंने छोड़ दिया था option पे. 5-10 mark के लिए आता है, right? And now she has specialized in transfer pricing only. Now she's no more a practicing chartered accountant. She is known as transfer pricing expert.
Yes.
See, दोनों तरफ से फायदा है. एक तो आपको कम करना है ऑफरिंग, तो अपने आप उस पे ग्रेट हो जाएंगे. The same mango वाला एग्जांपल, हाँ?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, wherever in the world a person has a problem in transfer pricing, he will approach my friend.
Yes.
Because वो pop-up आ जाएगा कि अरे she stands for transfer pricing.
Whenever I search about transfer pricing, definitely.
Do you think this is easier than offering so many services? मैं VAT भी करता हूँ, मैं GST भी करता हूँ, मैं tax filing भी करता हूँ, मैं audit भी करता हूँ.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, in the short term, you should have the courage to say no to other clients who come up with other requests. कि नहीं, मैं सिर्फ transfer pricing करती हूँ. धीरे-धीरे वो word of mouth बाहर सब चले जाएगा, and your identity will be clear for transfer pricing. Very,
very true, very true. So yeah, probably एक specialized area ले लेते हैं. And let's go much more deeper and deeper into that by learning and doing different things. So correct. I think yes. My identity in your head is so clear. Yeah. Because I said no to all other things. Yes. Or else मुझे pollution पे भी काम करने का मन कर रहा है ना? मुझे green sustainable energy पे भी काम करने का मन कर रहा है. No, I have to see. Yeah, to focus on one thing means to say no to 1,000 things. And I think this is how you started also. That you should know where you want to start, or your focus should be on a particular thing. So I think we started and we ended on the same thing. यहाँ से focus से start किया था और focus पे ही we have ended this session. I think it was a great time for me to have a conversation with you, Amrut, and I hope you also had a good time. Yeah. You literally, tried to dig it out from me. You extracted some great thoughts and ideas which are mingling somewhere in my mind. I had read years ago. So thank you so much for my revision of books. And thank you so much for actually helping me in combining my mission and vision with your with this conversation. As I said, for me, learning was something which was always on the top. वो मेरा focus area था. And probably your answers definitely supported to my mission and vision. So आपके हर एक आंसर में वो एक learning अपने आप मिल रही थी सबको. So I think probably it was a good gel for both of us. Thank you so much, guys. And I mean, thank you so much, Amrut. And I hope, guys, you will enjoy watching this video. And especially जो Amrut के जो fan following है, definitely there is a lot of new things about Amrut in this video, and the booklet guy, which is obviously very much known. And yes, guys, if you are interested in reading, or if you're not interested in reading, definitely start following the booklet guy, Amrut Deshmukh. I'm sure he will make you fall in love in reading, right, Amrut? Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Amrut, and thank you, guys. Stay tuned for our next video. Happy reading. Bye-bye. Happy reading, happy learning. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe our channel, like, share and comment. And stay tuned for our next episode which is going to come out soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.